Hey guys, we'll be live in a minute. We're just doing a briefing, find out what's going on, get ourselves situated, and then we're moving out. It's supposed to be a supply convoy protection, but we'll see how that goes. I'm flight team leader on Bravo 2, I believe, and we're the transport guys. So I'll be mounted up most of the mission and providing fire support, but that'll probably go wrong. Anyway, let's listen.
I've got a bunch of stuff to go through, so I'm going to do this on the map screen, and then I'll start with the non-mission specific stuff, and then I'll go into the mission specific stuff, but I'll try and keep it as brief as I can. I put an announcement out last week. We had a headquarters meeting on Wednesday, so there's a bunch of stuff in there, but the main things I wanted to mention was the vehicle crew roles that we've added to the all back now. I'm not sure if there's going to be a mission next week, either on Wednesday or Thursday. That should go out after this session, although I have put 2 in for next week. So we'll obviously include those where possible, and there's 4 guys on those tonight, so we appreciate your feedback on those roles so we can obviously use those and employ them going forward. The second is on a few training sessions that we are looking to put out, and we'll put some more info on that, but basically there'll be more practice-based and non-mandatory sessions where we can obviously practice SOP, etc. Probably going to be imagine we do those in midweek. There's been some mod changes tonight, which I will just briefly touch on because I'm sure none of you read the announcements we put out. The first one is medical. 2 things that's going to affect. It doesn't change anything per se, but it does add some new things. The first one is that there's now a chance that you can revive someone with CPR. I believe it's about 5%. So if you continually CPR someone, there's a possibility that you can obviously bring them back to life without the use of a pack, etc. Which is very useful for if you're stuck on the front line. In addition to that, there's also a defibrillator that we've given to only the platoon medic tonight, but then going forward probably we'll give to other medics, which effectively increases that chance of being able to do that. So that's useful, and it's another thing that can be used on the front line. A note about defibrillators: do not stand near it or around it if somebody is using it. And if you're using one, please do shout at everyone around you, a bit like you would if you were using an AT launcher, because it has basically the same effect, albeit not as severe as an AT launcher. Right.
Interrupt for a second. I just love the fucking idea of a defib with backblast.
Well, we'll call it backblast, but it's more all-around shock blast. If you hear the defibrillator noise, it's already too late.
User entered your channel.
And AI, there's been a change. Oh, sorry, splints is another thing I need to mention. In addition to this, there's now a new medical object called splints. So if you're a CLS or a medic tonight, or indeed anyone, I believe, feel free to take them out of the arsenal. What do they do? Well, if you have a broken leg and you're on the front line, rather than going 2 miles back to the support section, you can temporarily fix it with a splint, although not in all circumstances. So you'll notice when you examine someone's limb tonight that it will have something like analyze limb, and then a hint will tell you about whether you can use a splint on it or not. So that's really nice. It adds something to the guys when you're on the front line where you don't have to necessarily, and there's been a few circumstances where we've needed to evac or get CASEVAC out of somewhere, and you've got to walk at like 1 mile an hour towards the CASEVAC helicopter or whatever, whereas here you can splint your leg, run, and then obviously get it fixed up later, which is really nice. There is a change to AI tonight, which I've been told makes them a lot less AI-like, which I'm interested to see, so we will review that as well. I don't believe there's any promotions, but there is one thing of note, which is about 1/3 of the people tonight are recruits, so just bear that in mind when we're playing, that not everyone's going to know the SOP, and obviously help them where you can to pick up the way we do things, etc. Another thing I wanted to mention was about after-action reports. Please don't leave bad after-action reports without comments. We're going to stop you from doing it, because if you're marking something down, we want to know why. Can't do anything about it unless we know why. So generally what we would call bad is if you put anything other than good. I'd say okay, but if you're putting poor on something, just put a comment in there about why you've put it poor, because it helps us to obviously understand what we need to change or what's wrong. On the side of that, we've given... Sorry?
Your mic's getting like progressively worse.
It's rubbing on your stubble, I think, James.
Let me turn it around for you. That said, we've given your IC's direct access to the comments of your after action reports. There's 2 people that can see your after action reports. The S3 team operations, that's me, but I can't attribute it to a person. And then if you look on the roster, the admin roster, the person that you effectively report to or who looks after you can now see your comments and knows that it's you, but they're the only person that can see it. So I'm just making you aware of that. They can only see the last 4 that you've done, but we've done that so that we can obviously, from an operations point of view, we look at the overall. But if somebody's got a grievance or whatever, and it's only that one person, we won't pick up on it.